We hope you enjoy this clip. Before you watch it, please hit that subscribe button.
Do you think that they have to change anything based off the emergence of Denver?
No, I don't. I also think, if the Warriors could have got past the Lakers, that's probably a better conference finals. Because I think it's Denver. To me, was the best basketball team in the playoffs. I don't think anybody would have beat them. I really believe that. I don't think anybody would have beat them. I think the Warriors give them it's not a sweep. It's a tougher matchup in some ways because of Steph.
So you don't buy this whole thing about how they had the easiest run of all time and it's a fake.
Oh, we should address that right now. We should address that right
It's an asterisk title.
I'm going to address this, and I'm going to address Chris Mannix's comments. First of all, not willing to put it up as an all-time great run is just the most asinine statement when, regardless of what he followed up with, it's the most asinine statement because Jokic literally was like the first to do this, the second most ever. Come on, man. Like, what are we doing? All-time run. Then he starts talking about how, for me, it would be an all-time run if he had played against Giannis or Embiid or beat the Celtics. Hey, guess what? Those teams weren't good enough. Two of them lost to the Heat, and one of them couldn't get past the Celtics and couldn't close them out. The teams weren't good enough. How is that a knock on Jokic?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I just don't understand. So Kevin Durant and LeBron James and Anthony Davis don't count.
Yeah. Well, I said this the other day. Jokic in the 4 rounds, they went against 22. They went against players that had combined for 22 all defensive and defensive player of the year awards, the most all time. And they went against 85 combined all-star appearances in the 4 rounds, the most all time. Come on, man. Also, every time I see that graphic, with the seeds, it's like the Denver Nuggets. They beat the 8 seed. They beat the 4 seed. They beat the 7 seed. They beat the 8 seed. Okay, in 3 of those cases, number one seed plays the 8 seed every year. So there's nothing they can do about that. And if they win that round, they're either going to play the 4 or the 5 seed. In that case, they play the higher seed. Then with the Lakers, man, everybody was picking the Lakers to win the West. Everybody was picking Denver to lose that series against the Lakers. They had the second best record in the league once they made those trades. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. And then, of course, the Heat. There's a little bit of an anomaly there, but let's not act like the Heat haven't made 3 conference finals in 4 years and 2 finals appearances.
Yep.
Like, come on. It's not a...
Yep. All right. Good rant. We got it. Let's talk about the Bucks because we got like 90 questions about them. I can't even read all the different people who wrote them in, but the genesis of it is what should they do to extend this Giannis run with this roster?
It's a really good question. My initial inclination, without looking at every single guy on that roster and their contract situation and not knowing, outside of the Bradley Beals of the world, which other players are available, I believe you got to run it back. Bring back Lopez. I don't know what Middleton's going to end up doing with his player option, but Middleton was pretty damn good from like February on. Lopez had a great season, probably his best overall season as an NBA player. You had the number 1 seed, and Giannis got hurt 5 minutes or whatever it was into game 1. So in some ways, and you made a coaching change. So in some ways, you didn't really get to see the full version of this team. Having said that, let's also acknowledge Middleton, Drew Holiday, Lopez. Giannis really isn't he's still young, but I'm just saying he's not 25 anymore. Like, your window is not that open anymore. But I think with this group, you still have the opportunity to win because Giannis is that good. And those other guys, even though there may be a little bit of a decline as they age, they're still damn good basketball players.
My 2 follow-ups to that. First thing is, we talked about this really all season with them, is do they really need to upgrade the shooting in a significant way? They had their 15th offensive rating during the season. And so is that they made sort of like small adjustments, but is that something where, there's been rumors about them going after Beal, there's rumors to go after different people, like they need to go and get a shooter to be on that team. And then is
Beal a shooter?
Not a 3-point shooter, but
he's a scorer.
But he's a scorer.
He's a great scorer.
But he can shoot, just not from 3.
Yeah. What's his career 3-point percentage?
It's like in the 30s.
I mean,
It's like 33, 34.
the weird thing about last season was like almost everyone on their team, not everyone, but a lot of guys on their team just had their worst shooting years. It was very odd.
Yeah. But the other thing is Brook is you probably more than anybody talked about just how good he was all year, how important he was all year. Is that somebody it seems like it would be obvious that they would try to keep him. He feels like an impact free agent if they can't keep him. That people aren't really talking about.
Yeah, but again, based on what I think his value is on the open market, which teams have cap space to sign him? It's a lot of those teams that aren't going to win. And if I'm Brook, at that point in your career,
you're not going to Houston.
Yeah.
You're not going to Detroit.